Welcome to today's Explainer. I'm absolutely thrilled you're joining us because we are tackling a universal frustration today. You know the exact feeling I'm talking about, right? You're in a heated argument, someone throws a nasty insult your way, you stumble through some mediocre defense, and then, 20 minutes later, while you're driving home or maybe just taking a shower, your brain suddenly serves up the absolutely perfect, devastating comeback. It's literally infuriating. But what if you could tap into that exact level of sharpness in the heat of the moment? Today, we're breaking down the complete anatomy of a comeback. We're going to decode exactly how to master psychological dominance in arguments using the very same tactics pulled straight from the playbooks of top politicians and celebrities.
I mean, we have all been there, right? Wishing we could just rewind the clock to deliver that one flawless knockout line. Well, let me give you a fantastic real-world example of what it looks like when you get this exactly right. There was this moment where comedian Barty Singh indirectly insulted actress Katrina Kaif by pointing out that Katrina's Punjabi skills were, well, pretty poor. Now, a normal defensive reaction, that'd be to get angry, right? Or maybe try to justify it. But instead, Katrina just smiled and calmly replied that her Punjabi is exactly like Barty's dancing skills. Boom! It was indirect, undeniably sharp, and completely devastating. She didn't even raise her voice. She just completely outmaneuvered her critic.
Okay, let's really dive into this, because there is a massive difference between how most of us naturally react and how the true masters do it. See, the amateur reaction is loud, it's fast, and it's highly defensive. When you react like that, you're basically broadcasting to your opponent, hey, you got me, you successfully hurt my feelings. But the Sigma reaction, that is silent, it's slow, and shockingly, it's often agreeable. Because a truly savage reply isn't about who can yell the loudest. No way. It's a total masterclass in emotional control. So to get you to that level of Sigma control, our agenda for this explainer is a three-part journey. We'll start with Phase 1, the shield, all about mindset. Then Phase 2, the sword, covering verbal tactics. And finally, Phase 3, the delivery, which is all about execution. Let's kick things off with Phase 1, the shield, guarding your mindset. Before you even open your mouth to formulate a comeback, you've got to win the internal battle. You do this by detaching from the insult entirely. I want you to remember this golden rule. An insult is just a request for your dopamine, so starve them. Think about it. When someone insults you, they're desperately seeking a reaction. They want the satisfaction, that literal chemical dopamine hit of seeing you get angry or flustered. Your primary job? Starve them of that satisfaction. You do this by acting like you simply don't care. Whether you smile, laugh it off, or look utterly bored, you are sending a clear signal that their words hold absolutely zero power over your emotional state.
To effectively starve them out, here are 4 psychological formulas you can deploy right away. Number 1, the stare. Literally, just look at them. Don't say a word. This creates a deeply awkward silence that usually makes the instigator backtrack, wondering if they crossed a line. Number 2, do your work. If someone throws a jab, simply continue typing or reading or whatever the heck you are doing. Ignoring them entirely is incredibly frustrating for an attacker. Number 3 is brilliant for disorienting someone. Wrong, right, question. You intentionally mispronounce their name, immediately correct yourself with a quick apology, and then ask them a question. It completely derails their train of thought. And finally, number 4, agree and ask. Just agree with their insult and then calmly ask, "Are you okay?" It instantly shifts the spotlight off you and makes them look like the one acting totally unhinged.
Moving right along to Phase 2, the sword. This is where we get into those sharp verbal tactics.
Once your shield is firmly up and you're emotionally detached, well, now it's time to go on the offensive. Consider this brilliant case study involving actor Shah Rukh Khan. During an interview, a reporter accidentally called him Salman, which of course is the name of a major rival actor. Now, a lesser person would have gotten totally offended, right? Snapped or demanded an apology. But Shah Rukh Khan used a tactic called the reverse attack. He didn't lose his cool for a second. Instead, he calmly replied to the reporter, intentionally calling her Deepika. See what he did there? He took her exact mistake, reversed it, and used it against her, all with a smile on his face. He didn't just defend his boundary, he trapped her in her own error. Brilliant.
And that perfectly illustrates our next tactic, accept and counter. Let's look at this fascinating political case study. A rival politician made a very public threat against PM Modi, stating that in 6 months, Modi would be beaten with sticks. Wow, right? But instead of acting outraged, Modi publicly accepted the premise. He actually agreed the timeline was 6 months. Then he delivered his counter. He smoothly stated he'd use those 6 months to practice Surya Namaskar yoga every single day to build a stronger back. One capable of taking those hits. By accepting the threat and countering it with calm preparation, he literally bent that aggressive energy to his own advantage.
Now, what's really interesting here is one of the oldest debate tricks in the book, the straw man fallacy. Imagine you have to fight a 7-foot, 300-pound bodybuilder. I mean, you can't win a fair fight against that, right? So instead, you build a weak, fake dummy out of straw, knock it over with one punch, and proudly declare yourself the winner. Well, in an argument, you can do the exact same thing with someone's words. You take their complex argument, twist it into a highly oversimplified, weak version, and then you attack that fake version instead. It is a total game changer.
So how do you actually pull this off in the real world? Here's your actionable playbook for deploying the straw man fallacy when things get heated. Step 1. Listen closely for any exaggerated words your opponent uses. Step 2. Notice if they're simplifying the focus of the real issue. And Step 3. This is the kill shot, folks. Attack that weak point by starting your sentence with the phrase, "so you're saying." The very second you say, "so you're saying," you grab the steering wheel. You force them to stop attacking you, and suddenly, they have to start defending themselves against this twisted, easily defeatable version of their own words that you just created. Finally, that brings us to Phase 3, the delivery, focusing on the sheer power of body language. Because let's be real, having the sharpest sword in the world means absolutely nothing if you don't actually know how to swing it. Always remember, people respect silence when it comes from a place of confidence. If you have the absolute perfect comeback, but your voice is shaking, your breathing is all erratic, or you just look panicked, yeah, the comeback is completely ruined. Delivery is everything. You need to speak slowly, maintain a really even, calm tone, and hey, maybe even wear a faint smirk. Leaning back just slightly while maintaining unbreakable eye contact, that creates an aura of sheer invincibility. You basically want to deliver your line as if you're almost bored by their attempt to insult you. And that brings us to the number 1. Just 1 single second. That is the exact amount of time you must deliberately pause before giving your reply. When someone insults you, our natural instinct is to snap back immediately, right? Just to defend ourselves. You have to resist that urge. Take 1 full second of total unbroken silence. That pause is the ultimate power move. It broadcasts to everyone in the room that you are completely unfazed, you're in total control of the pacing, and you are taking your sweet time to dismantle them. So, as we wrap up today's explainer, I really want you to ask yourself, are you ready to win minds and not just arguments? Because as we've seen today, a true savage reply isn't about being loud or disrespectful or aggressive. It's about supreme emotional control. It's about raising your shield to starve them of a reaction, sharpening your verbal sword to reverse their attacks, and then delivering your words with a calm, unshakable confidence that leaves your opponent completely outmaneuvered. You now possess the anatomy of the perfect comeback. So the only question left is, who are you going to try it on first?